Welcome back to Come and Brew. This is our third episode about the National Homebrewers Conference. We're here with Jimmy Big Ears at his brewery. He was gracious enough to allow us to come in and check out his cool toys and brew on his system today. We're brewing a rye Pilsner today, so we're going to talk a little bit later about the different style, the style basically.
Style, yeah.
Yeah, and how you're brewing it today.
Different processes.
Right, different
step
processes.
mashing, and maybe with a HERMS coil system, and
Right,
different things you can do to get the best out of your grain.
Right on. We're also going to talk to, we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to have a little sampling of all the different beers, or rye Pilsners,
Texas
that are available here
yes.
in Texas. But we're also going to compare it to a German style as well, so we kind of can see the difference in the evolution of the Pilsners.
Right.
Which I think a lot of people nowadays are really hung up on, you know, I want some hoppy stuff. So I think it's really interesting how Pilsner style has really evolved. You know, so it really has changed.
Indeed.
So,
and more people are brewing Pilsners.
Right.
I think, yes.
No doubt. So we also happened to bump into Stan Hieronymus out at the NHC. He was gracious enough to hang out with us, talk to us a little bit about his books, his brewing practices and stuff of that nature.
Met up with some of the vendors.
Yeah, we did. We had actually met up with some of the vendors, so you get to see some of our products that we carry in the store firsthand.
Right.
So you'll be able to check those out, learn some stuff that I didn't even know about the products firsthand. So a lot of fun. So we're going to come back here in a little bit, talk to you guys about the different beers, the different process and stuff like that. Hope you enjoy the next segment.
Very good. Cheers.
Hey guys, I'm here with Stan Hieronymus at the 2014 NHC in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Appreciate you taking the time to do the interview with us. You've done a lot for the homebrew community, had several books, and most recently the Love Hops book from the Brewing Elements series. How do you tackle such a broad topic in hop? I mean, they're little, but they're big.
In terms of the hops book, first of all, Matt Brothers was going to write that book for a couple of years. So, though I had the advantage of he and I talked about it a lot. Hops interest me, and he's been the subject of like magazine stories I did, things like that. That was a pretty good leg up of thinking about how he was going to work. You know, mine changed because I'm a process guy. And so if I can figure out the process, then I can explain that to other people. Hops doesn't work quite that easily, but still I can back off and say, okay, what's the most important thing? You know, how do we start? What's the history? What's the agriculture, the processing, the brewing process? What changed in the course of that is it was apparent what we were learning, and we're still learning, is the importance of the oral history. And that's why aroma jumps to the beginning of the book, and we'll just talk about aroma and an overview of what's happening, and then you go back to the history, the genetics, and the breeding, and then it was a matter of you talk to people, you go to Germany, you talk to breeders there, you talk to the growers, you talk to people who brew the beer, and then you have these, oh, nuts, I really need to know this, and you go back to Come and Brew.
And then, how do you finish a book like that with something that's, you know, like you said, you're continuously learning stuff about hops that, you know, there's still so many different compounds we don't have really an idea what they are. There's so many different varieties and new hops coming to the market. How do you just decide, okay, I've got to cut it here, and maybe this will be in the other version?
The publisher gives you a deadline, and that's it. I need this now. You might be able to make small changes, and it was obvious, but up to me, the book would not be done. I would still be saying, well, we can learn this and put that in. I would have been wrong because it's been out for more than a year, and it'll be a couple more years before, and that's the optimistic view before we have a handle on the idea of how the oils move between the compounds, how the compounds interact, and that's probably the next best thing. So that's what I'm going to understand.
And do you have any new projects in the works?
Well, I accumulate stories, so I'm always collecting.
You're a very good storyteller.
And how they come together. My interest is our connection to beer, and focusing on the idea that the beer comes from a particular place or how that connection took place. You know, Texas, the example would be St. Arnold, which has been around for 20 years. Now, we're not saying that you can taste anything about Houston in that beer, but you live in Houston, you do actually taste it. They have a connection to the people in their beer. So what is that connection? How does that work? That would be, that's not part of my plan to include St. Arnold, but
You wrote a book. What are your thoughts on, we recently had the first United States Trappist brewery startup. Have you had a chance to go out there and visit them?
I haven't visited them. When they were starting the project, I traded a lot of email with the monk whose idea was to do that, which is interesting. And, how long that process took. The monks will tell you among themselves, one of their jokes is that had they been building pyramids, they'd spend 50 on this. They don't do anything real fast. They take a longer view. I've had a lot of contact with the monks at Mount Angel Abbey in Oregon. Also intend to start. Now they're Benedictine, so they're not Trappist. It's not as sexy. It will be small. So they intend to do the brewing themselves. So it's probably a 5-barrel brewery, and they've been working on this for years. Where every monk who comes here is involved in the process of picking the yeast, which recipes they like, exactly what's going to be like the marketing material, like that. So that's been really interesting, and this how it works in with commerce always. I think it bothers people who don't understand the Benedictine monks, but they live by the work of their own hands, so that's why they do that. And they do ask themselves the questions: are we going to be making money while selling alcohol? Is this right or is this right? And they make these decisions, and that to me is totally fascinating how it fits in.
We were talking before we started the interview. You were and the Germans call it Ratzers.
Yes.
Kind of a revitalization of beers like that goes before that the wit beer came back with one of these it was almost extinct, same with like Saison. These are the new ones kind of this past couple years. Do you see anything else that kind of older beer styles or anything that you think might be having a revitalization?
Well, it's hard to say what's a revitalization. For instance, the BJCP program will be introducing new style guidelines. That'll be tomorrow. That's all we're talking about. And that will include Kentucky Common, which was a beer in the Louisville area. And two things happen. People become aware of it, and the other, you straight down a lot of stories that people got wrong. Right, whether this beer was sour, for instance, or not sour. Kentucky Common, and until Wednesday afternoon, I thought it was traditionally sour, and I learned that it wasn't. So what comes forward, I think it's a combination of lots of things. 25 years ago, beer was a pale lager with not much hop here. And now there are all these other things. Right now, people are discovering IPAs. They love IPAs. They love hops. You go to Poland, they've been at the forefront of resurrecting this. What's driving interest in beer there? Right, beer there is hops. You go to Brazil, and they're doing lots of cool things. And I think that emerging, they'll be doing more things with their native sugar. They're using a lot of fruits that are unique to their really neat beer. What's driving interest right now is hops. You go to Argentina, where they'll be able to grow their own hops. This is American, just far enough later than can. Right. And there's a lot of interest in hops. I think right now it feels like hops are just going to become over IPA, become bigger and bigger in the United States. But at some point, people are interested in those other flavors too. So they can come from old recipes, but they can also come from saying, what are our ingredients? Pecan porter. That's 512 is an example. There are these trees out front. I love it.
No, it's fantastic. Very good. And like you said, IPAs have also grown even in the past couple of years.
guys, welcome back. I'm Greg, we've met before, and we're still here with Senor Jaime Arejas Grandes. And he'd like to go ahead and describe his brew system and how it helps to brew a rye pils today.
Yes, Greg. What I have here is a two-tier HERMS system. This is the first tier, this is the second. I have a HERMS coil in my hot liquor tank, which allows me to change temperatures in my mash through recirculation. And then I have a temperature gauge here, which allows me to see what temperature the mash, the recirculation is coming to, which helps me eventually get to my kettle, which is a gravity-fed system, or I can use a pump if I need to. Today, like Greg said, we're brewing a rye pils, and this we have boiling here. We're almost done, by the way.
Cool.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So how does that step mash help with the rye pils?
Step mash? With a high Pilsner content beer, it's important to me to get more body, more of the fermentable sugars out of my grain, and to use the grain to the most, its most ability. By striking at a lower temperature, I have the ability with a recirculation mash or a HERMS coil mash to raise the temperature throughout the mashing process to attain more of the fermentable sugars and enzymes out of my grain. Once I do that, then I can, I provide a rest for each step up through my mash, and then I transfer to the kettle for the boil.
Okay, and you're a big fan of German styles, right? So hence
Yes,
the step mashes, which pretty much help. I mean, that's a traditional method
Yes,
for all of
it
those, right?
helps with pilsners and wheats and pretty much all German styles. And you can do it with any beer. You can get the best of your grains on any beer, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's something to think about as a home brewer, whether or not you want to involve yourself in a system like this, to be able to do a little more of an extensive brew for whatever style you so choose. I mean, Jimmy here is a big fan of German styles, and that's the main style that he brews.
That's
So.
right. Yeah.
Next up, we're going to go ahead and have some interviews with the vendors at the NHC Expo, and then after that we're going to come back and we're going to try a few Pilsner styles just to have a comparison. Texas Pilsner styles, that is. So, y'all enjoy.
Excellent, Greg. Thank you.
Hey, Matt here with Texas Brewing Inc. We're here at NHC 2014. We're talking to Mike with Chugger Pumps. He's going to talk a little bit about the new pumps they have coming out.
Okay, we got our base pumps, which are the plastic inline, stainless steel inline. But what we've done is come out with a larger version in both stainless steel and plastic. You have a plastic ODP motor here. These are retailing for $229. This is a totally enclosed stainless steel motor at $325, and the ODP motors with the stainless steel are $299. So really affordable prices on these. We're putting out for more flow and more pressure to do some sparging or whatever, whirlpooling, whatever you're going to do. But we're here for you at any time. You guys need any help with a chugger, feel free to call us anytime. We'll help you out. And we appreciate you guys the support of being at the show.
Appreciate it. Hey guys, we're here with Casey from FastRack. He's here to talk about his new and upcoming products they have coming out. Casey?
Thanks, Matt. Hi, Texas Homebrewing. Great to be with you guys. We're having a lot of fun at the National Homebrewers Conference this year. So I'm going to chat about a few products that we've been working on. Our first one is the FastRack beer. It's our original one. We've had it out for about a year and a half now. It's designed for 12-ounce bottles. It's a system for racking, storing, and drying your bottles. Bottles go in upside down. A lot of people like it because there's no contamination on the inside. There's no contact. Bottles go straight in, no big deal. The rack stack. The 24 one for the 12-ounce bottles comes in sets of 2. Each rack holds 24 bottles. When you stack 2 high, it's 48 bottles. Ideal for a 5-gallon batch. Our second one that we came out with lately, just in the last 6 months, is the FastRack wine. This version holds 12 bottles at a time. It's designed for 500 to 750 milliliter bottles, including all oversized wine bottles, so the big fat ones. And it also works really well for 750 milliliter champagne bottles, big fat ones as well. This system comes in sets of 3, so 3 racks, 1 tray on the bottom. They stack 3 high. The units, each version can literally stack 7 or 8 units high. The thing is the higher you get, the more weight you have on it, so they actually get more stable the higher you go. They're just a wicked product. We've just been really taken over on the bottle tree sales, that's for sure. And we make these right here in Detroit, Michigan. Our next product that we've been working on is Fast Label. It's a labeling system for wine and beer bottles. We have a couple different sizes available. This is the wine one. It's a very simple system. We have a bunch of free websites where you go on, you print the labels off for free here, cut them out. The sleeves, I don't know if you can see, but the sleeves go right over the bottles. You simply slide the label in underneath it, dip the bottle in hot water, and it laminates right onto the bottle. They come out looking like this. They're clear. You can trim them to make them look real nice. And the best part about them, when you're done with them, you simply run a sharp edge, a knife down it, the labels fall off. You're not soaking or scrubbing any of them, which is a big thing for a lot of homebrewers. The next one that we're super excited about is Fast Ferment. Some of you might have seen this product. It's actually been around for about 10 to 12 years. It's formerly known as the V-Vessel. So it's a conical fermenter. It's single stage and secondary fermenting in one vessel. It's very simple. The product works like this. You do your primary fermentation in here, comes down, all your sediment and yeast settles in the bottom. When the primary fermentation is done, the valve goes off, the fittings open up here, I can get it open. Valve comes off, the ball right now. So when the ball comes off, you can now harvest and reuse your yeast. This is unbelievable. Next thing, the ball goes back on, you do your secondary fermentation. When you're ready to bottle, simply snap the coupler on with the hose and the filler right into your bottles. This cuts your time down, and it also, the quality of the product is really good because you're avoiding the racking and transferring. When you're racking and transferring, you're always going to get a bit of sediment contamination. With this, that eliminates it. It also gets away from it being exposed to oxygen. So the quality of the product comes out really nice. This is the old version, the V-Vessel. We've made some really awesome improvements on it. The first one is we're doing a 6-inch big mouth bubbler top on it. You got to be able to get in to clean it properly. Second is we're increasing the capacity slightly. It's going to be a total of 7 gallons. It's ideal for a 5-gallon batch with a bit of headspace on there. The next thing, we're going to increase the size of the valve. Right now it's a 3/4 inch valve. We're going to bring it up to a 1-inch valve so there's really good flow on it. It's very important. The next thing is we're going to change the wall mount system. Right now it's a single unit. The new one will have 2. They go straight back. They're spaced 16 inches apart, so it goes right into any standard wall studs in any house. The next big thing that we've only decided this literally in the last 5 days, we're going to be putting a metal node into the unit. So there'll be a metal node right here that's permanently in the unit. It'll be about 3 inches long, so you can put a thermometer in it right away. That'll help you control your temperature. The biggest thing is right now the unit's manufactured in Canada. It currently retails for about $200. We're bringing the manufacturing down into Michigan again here. We love Michigan manufacturing. The price of the unit is drastically coming down. Right now it retails for about $200. We're going to have it on store shelves for around $100. We hope to land it in stores by September, October at the latest. We're also going to do some accessories for it, so like a small stand so that you can put it in a fermenting chamber or a fridge or freezer, and then we'll have a larger stand for it so when you're bottling you have some height on it. And we'll also have a carrying strap on it as well. We're really excited about the new one. The fast racks are going awesome and the labels are great too. We really appreciate everybody's support and hope you can come out to the National Homebrewers Conference next year. Thanks very much.
Hey, here we are with Boyd from Coldbreak Brewing. If you guys have seen our website or been into the store, you know that we do carry a lot of their products, and we plan on carrying a lot more. We also have, I know he has some new exciting products that he wants to tell us about. And here you go, Boyd. Tell us all about your products.
Thanks, Brendan. This is our CB1, we call it. It's 25-foot 3/8 stainless or copper immersion chiller. It's our best seller. 100% USA made. Everything right down to the tape on the box. All of our products are 100% US made, and we're proud of it, and we stamp it on everything. These are our hard maple mash paddles. They retail for $25 a piece. They've got nice big holes so your grain will pass through without issue and break up good dough balls. That's our 50-foot half-inch immersion chiller. You can knock out a 5-gallon batch in about 8 minutes with good groundwater. Some new things we have going on are the mash tons made out of the Igloo coolers, which are made in Katy, Texas. Nice little plug there. They come with a false bottom, 100% stainless steel, easily removable. Somewhat easy. Makes for easy cleaning. And there's a cut there so you can fit your bazooka under there for double filtration if you're into that. And let's see, we've got jockey boxes. This Haas right here is an 8-tap, 50-foot coils. You can serve all the beer you need to at any festival. And they're a hot seller now.
Thank you, Boyd. And like I said, you can see all our products on our website, or you can get them here in our store. And we greatly appreciate your time, bud. Thanks. Here we're back after brewing a rye Pilsner. We're going to taste a few of the offerings here available in Texas, as well as a traditional Pilsner. We're here with Nate Weber, the owner of T&P Tavern. It's a great, awesome tap room. If you ever get a chance to get to Fort Worth, it's great. It's a fantastic venue. It's the old lunch counter at the Texas Pacific Railroad building. It's he's completely restored it. It's a great place to check out. One of the best barkeeps here in Fort Worth. So if you have a chance, go by and swing by and check it out. One of the things we were talking about is the differences in different Pilsners, and I think a lot of guys, a lot of times they get really hung up on, they think Pilsner and they think Miller Lite, Coors Light, or American type
run-of-the-mill beer.
Right. Which I think that's really you're shorting yourself. Yeah, right. Because I think there's a lot of variations and stuff of different Pilsners and stuff of that nature. So
not only is a beer drinker, but a beer brewer. You know,
exactly.
Beer brewers, they lean towards the ales and the more
IPAs and stuff of that nature. And some of the different styles that you can get, or different variants that you can get in Pilsners, man, you really have a lot of different complexities that you can change up.
Sure.
For example, we're tasting here tonight a Deep Ellum's Rye Pilsner. It's just down the street over here in Dallas.
Right.
So it's a really great beer, but it has rye, and that's what we're brewing tonight. And what does that add to it? Would you say, Jim?
I would say it adds a little more depth to it, a little more mouthfeel, a little more pop. You know, it has a little spicy notes, and a little bit more than your original pill. You know, the classic German lager. You know, it's gives it just a little bit. You know, it's not anything you expect, but it's very welcome in a beer. It's very welcome in a lager.
Right.
Exactly how we explain it to our customers. We tell them it has a little bit of a spicy, earthy kind of flavor to it. That it's almost, it complements the hops almost. It's
right.
Exactly.
Most definitely.
Especially accentuates German style or noble style hops, because the spiciness you get from that as well. So I think it's a really great style. But I hope they continue to brew it. I think it's a great style.
Most definitely,
I think they did a great job.
You have the Hans Pils in your hand.
Right, the Hans Pils. This is brewed by Real Ale Brewing Company down in Blanco, Texas. It's a great style.
I was just there last week.
Very good.
I think I would call this a neo-German American style Pilsner. And what it is it's German Pils on steroids.
Right.
You know, so basically you get a lot of hop character, a lot of you still get a little bit of malt backbone, but I would say it's probably more on the balance of the hop side.
Sure.
But when we're talking about hoppy, we're not talking about
IPA,
grapefruit.
we're not talking
We're getting more of that spicy German noble flavor. Yeah, the bitterness, but you also get some of that spicy. You don't get any grapefruit, citrus, that sort of thing, right? So this is a really nice beer. Austin Beer Works also makes a really good beer called Pearl Snap Pilsner. It's a really great beer too. Can you guys? I know Terrapin makes the rye pils out of Georgia.
Yes.
They make some great beers, but
quite a bit over the a little bit to the extreme end of the spectrum is the Pecker Wrecker Imperial Pilsner from
definitely.
It's a great beer, but it's a very big Pilsner.
Yes.
So a little bit
I
different.
think it was like 9% something like that.
9.1.
But that's a great beer
Hence
as
the
well.
name. Hence the name.
Pecker record.
Yes.
No doubt. No doubt.
One of the forefathers, I guess you would say, would be the
German Pils.
Yeah, German Pils. Yeah.
Traditional German style pilsners are one of my favorites.
No doubt.
You know, and I don't mean to be, you know, counter to I guess some of the trends, but bigger isn't always better. Sometimes the quality, crispness, cleanness is what people want. And to be honest with you, in the tavern with the beers, and we have a full spectrum of beers and styles. With what we have, these traditional German pilsners are a good segue into the craft market.
No doubt.
You know,
So
definitely.
You know,
that's a great
and
thing.
we recommend it to a lot of people that want to come in and try something different, you know.
I think that's a great gateway beer, I would say, for your Bud Miller Coors drinkers.
Sure.
You know? So,
But it's a very high quality beer.
no doubt. And is it even as you become more and more involved in craft brewing and stuff of that nature, you'll start to realize the great quality of a German Pils. And you know, there's lots of them out there. You sell a lot of Kronbacher at the tavern, right?
Yeah.
Kronbacher Pils is a really good one. You also have Bitburger, Koenig Pils, which we're drinking tonight.
Right.
That's a great one. You're going to notice they're going to be a little more on the malty side than they are going to be the hoppy side, like something like Hans Pils.
They are hoppy, but that's a different hop profile.
Right. And you guys all know as being home brewers and stuff of that nature, you know as beer ages, hops come down, and you'll notice a big difference between drinking a German Pils here than you would even in Germany, because they're going to be a little more hoppy, not quite to the extent of a Hans Pils, but you're still going to notice a little more hop character than what you would.
And Pilsners are not easy to brew. You know, for a home brewer, that's one of the most difficult beers to hone in. I mean, you know, ales, you know, there's a wider range of flavors and things you can get in ales that still stay within style, but the most accomplished brewers can brew a good Pilsner, and I think it's kind of gone by the wayside a little bit as far as, you know, the average, you know, the new home brewers, like, you know, I want to brew a stout, I want to brew, you know, but the classic beer style, the you know, I don't know, the German lager, it's, you know, the Pilsner, it's a classic, and it's one that can't be overlooked as a style to learn to brew and to brew well.
Yeah, well, and also from the consumer's perspective, you go out, you have a few beers, you don't always want an 8-9% beer.
Right, exactly.
Sometimes you want to just back up and come to a nice, clean, crisp Pilsner, chill out, you know, make the night go on.
Right. I agree, and I think you'll see a lot of the trend in craft brewing coming back to, let's say, a sessionable type style, which this is definitely a sessionable style.
Sure.
So I think not just because it's easy to drink or whatever doesn't mean that it can't taste great and not have any complexity.
You can add a lot. Yeah, sure.
So I think this is a style often overlooked, and I think it's really becoming popular in Texas. I think just because we have lots of German ancestry in Texas, so you know, lots of guys like, hey, well, let's take this German style and just beef it up. We're also starting to get a lot of traditional German styles here in Texas now. A lot of the craft breweries in Texas are also starting to bring in gozas and
which is a lost style.
Gozas and you know, what's the smoke?
The Rausch beers.
Rausch beers, and then you also get a lot of the Gratzers and all of that stuff. So all of those stuff are people are starting to bring back, which they're not necessarily high alcohol, crazy hops, but you know, some different flavors and different styles, get a little more variety.
Sure.
Different seasons, different beers. I mean,
exactly.
I don't always want to drink a stout during the summer.
No doubt. But Prost. Once we also have is we've got a little bit left of our club night that we've got. We're going to talk about a little bit. We're going to show you some of the stuff at the NHC club night. Total kick-ass time, man.
Oh, yeah. Always a good time.
If you never had a chance to get out there, it's I know you guys have been to Blue Bonnet. It's like Blue Bonnet on steroids.
Yeah.
So
very nice.
Yeah, you have homebrew clubs from all over the U.S. They're all serving their beers, and there's some phenomenal stuff. So,
absolutely.
I hope you enjoy some of the footage, some of the clubs that we're going to show, and the exhibitors. So, cheers.
Good. Cheers.
start that out. Cheers. Here we are. Cheers. Weber, the owner of T&P Tavern.
Cheers.
Cheers. They're in Fort Worth, Texas. If you ever get a chance to get up to Fort Worth, it's a great. Don't do it, man. It's going to start us all doing it. All right.
It's a sweet. It's not sweet. It's salty. It's not salty. I brew it straight with grains. Grains. We're going to transfer dry water through the pumps. Here. The valves. Yeah. All right. Ready?
Okay, that looks good. That looks good.
Is that good?
Yeah. All right, ready. 3, 2.
You see me before, and like I said before we said this was
You are the Miltillis of this because you hiccup without the film rolling, but with the film rolling, you go, hey, hiccup. No hiccups whatsoever. All right. Remember, Miltillis could sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good at singing songs.
Oh, so love me.
Like, you know, rolling over here.
Yeah, I turned it on because I was behind it. Yep. Shut it off when I came back, and then I turned it back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a minute and 30.
Here we are, our third episode of Come and Brew It. We're here with Jimmy Big Dick. Jimmy Bigger.
All right. Okay. Both are true.
Actually, that's big.
Okay.
And
Oh, I like this.
There's a bunch of Bud Light line. What's up with that?
no, this is before I started drinking.
Old school.